Alright, well, I just finished with the first can of paint, and I didn't even get to paint the engine. That's okay though, I'll order another can. This is all painted well, and I wire wheeled the exhaust. I wire wheeled it and covered the threads, and I painted that as well. So yeah, this is all painted well, multiple coats. Took a whole can to paint all of this, so yeah, I'll buy another can for the engine. I'll order that when I order the valve. And yeah, so just let this hang out here and dry overnight. Alright, we'll be back at it tomorrow. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I just got to order. I got to wait for the valve. I got to wait for that to come in before I can finish this. So, all right. Okay, got 3 coats of paint on the head. Let that dry really good. Coming over here to the engine, I've got the crank taped off. I have the intake taped off because I'm going to paint it without the intake tube on there so that I can get this right here painted really well. So I taped that off. That's about it. Now I'm just waiting on that head to completely dry. I will probably, I put the breather on too. I got the breather valve cover on. And I would imagine I'm just going to wait till tomorrow, let this cure good. Maybe, yeah, probably tomorrow. I'll probably just wait till tomorrow before I mess with this. Let that cure overnight. Then we will put the head on. I've got the, let's slide that back. I don't like that. That's a little bit iffy. Put that back a little bit. Got my head pattern right here. Torque specs, I believe, is 140 inch-pounds. Which is about 12 foot-pounds, something like that. Yeah, so we'll be back at this one tomorrow after that head cures. Alright, that's good enough for coat number 1. I'll put about 3 or 4 coats on this and it'll be done. Alright, the engine has dried overnight. And I gotta say, I'm happy with it. It looks pretty awesome. So I believe I will get this thing mounted back on the mower. Right here, we'll mount it. I'm going to clean that up really good. And then we will mount the motor on there and then finish assembling it on the mower deck itself. So, all right. Well, let me do that. Let me get that mower cleaned up and worthy of having this motor put on it. Okay. It's not been 24 hours. It's been 5 hours maybe. It's pretty good to the touch. I'm kind of pushing it a little bit maybe, but I want to just get this thing clean. I'm going to spray some carb cleaner through the passages here. Just make sure nothing's blocked. See that? That's good. Okay. Just clean. Good enough. So that's good and clean. Okay. I'm going to put the carburetor together and put on the tank. Yeah, I got the new carb assembled and put on the tank, and that carb cleaner kind of ruined the paint. Should have let it cure. Should have let it cure, but whatever. It's okay. I'll let it cure now. Maybe I'll spray that again and then let it sit. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll spray it one more time and then let it set. Alright, I've got it hanging back up. I went ahead and just resprayed around where it got messed up. And I was careful not to get any paint in the carburetor. So yeah. Now, we'll let this sit overnight. But yeah, new diaphragm, new gasket, new spring and screen. Of course, it came with it. All that new stuff came with this carburetor. So we got a brand new carburetor on here, and on a newly cleaned tank. And this time I'll let it cure overnight, and then we'll put it on the engine tomorrow. And here is the spark plug for this particular mower. J19LM Champion. All right. It took nearly 3 weeks for this granite block to be delivered. But it is beautiful. And it's about 80 pounds, so it's super heavy. But now I got my 180 grit stuck down onto it. Nice and flat. So what I'm going to do is grab this cylinder head, this guy right here, and I'm going to go ahead and run this on this surface. See, let's check it out, how it's kind of clearing. It almost looks like it's, yeah, see, that's flat, but these, I don't know, it's just kind of weird how it's cleaning up. It's like it hasn't even touched over here yet. Yeah, I don't know. Continue. It's still, I mean, it's still pitted a little bit. It's still over here, not flat. It's flat pretty much everywhere else, but this was a really, I don't know, I'm just going to keep going until it's completely clean. I'm going to call that pretty good. Cleaned up. Nice. Right, that is that. Now I got to do the engine block. Tough to try to keep that flat. It's looking good except for down here. Still, we're getting there, but it's still a low spot there. Getting there. Getting there. Almost got it flat. A little bit more. All right. I think that's beyond the sealing surface. The rest of it's nice and flat. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. We'll go with that. Looks good. Okay, now our block is decked. So, resurfaced block and head. So now I'll start with the reassembly. Alright, this is just hot water with dish soap and a scrubby. Just to give it a quick scrubbing. I got the cylinder head and the block in here. Yeah, I'm just giving it a quick once over, a little scrubbing. And then there'll be a rinse. I'll take it over and just rinse this off and let it dry, and we'll be ready to reassemble. Okay, so I've used air compressor to kind of blow dry this thing. Now I'm assembling. Want to grab this, which is a thing that this was a failure here. Engine oil in this just did not work. So I'm going to take this and just kind of pour engine oil over this piston. Yeah, just engine oil. And then grab my piston ring compressor. And remember, I cut a lot of this back. I cut a good 10 to 12 inches off of this thing because it just doesn't need to be that big. And you do go and just stagger the rings. This way you can get a much better compression on the rings. Okay. And we'll use the wooden end of the mallet. And what we need to do is make sure that's all the way down. I don't want to go. Yeah, it's going. Just make sure that that's there we go. Okay. Piston is in. Just make sure we're getting a good line up. It's hard to tell. There we go. Now we've got it. We come over here. You just got to kind of finagle it sometimes to get the rod on the crank journal. Now we got it on in there. And now you can kind of hold it together a little bit and push down. And we can put our cap on. Back it up. Back it up. What I want to do is use my wooden block, the hole in it wherever that got to. Be right back. Okay, engine assembly. Go ahead and put a little assembly lube on the cap. Cap goes like this. And we'll see if we can't, one at a time. There we go. And let's get this one started. Get this one started. Okay, I need to grab the socket, the proper socket. And I'm just tightening this up. Just running them up. Slowly. Slowly but surely. These get torqued to 100 inch-pounds. 100. First I'm going to do 50, or maybe I'll go up to 60 and then up to 100. So now I can grab my torque wrench and I'm going to set this to 60. Okay. Okay. Now we'll go up to 100. I'm actually going to 101, just for good measure. That's it. Yep, we're good. Okay. That is the rotating assembly. Okay, that's that. Now, I want to put some of this grease down in the cam, where the cam sits, and on the gear itself. You know. And I got the cam here. And I just kind of want to clean this thing a little, just kind of clean it a slight bit. Okay, I want to lube it, lube the lobes and everything, right? I got to put the lifters in yet. So let me do that. This is my intake lifter. Tap it, whatever you want to call it. Okay, and here is the exhaust tappet. Oops. Okay. Very good. Okay, now we've got our cam with the lobes kind of done up a little bit, and I just want to take some of the compound and go around the gear a little bit. Like that. And we need to find, there's the mark right there. So we need to Alright, let me zoom in really good on that and make sure I got the timing mark right. So I want to grab the camera and zoom in really good on that. Yeah, it looks good. Oh yeah. Yep. It's lined right up. Okay, that's good. Okay, so we got our cam good. Go ahead and alright, now what I do need to do is make sure that this surface is really clean. So what I want to do is grab a towel, and I need to go get my bottle of lacquer thinner. I'll be right back. This is lacquer thinner, and I just want to wet this paper towel and just go around the edge. Make sure this is clean. And I want to go around the edge of the sump and do the same thing. Check out the sump right here. So I just want to go around the outside edge of the sump as well. And I'll do that off camera. All right. We are ready to put our sump on. I just want to get a good look at that seal. Okay, looks good. Grab the sump bolts. Let me find those, and those get torqued to, oh, we'll do 80, 85 inch-pounds. Okay, just getting these guys all kind of run down a little bit. Set this to 85. Okay. All right, I've got them all kind of snugged down. Now I need to get the pattern that Briggs wants you to use. It's going to be a crisscross pattern, but I'll go ahead and look up the actual bolt pattern for torquing this down. All right, yeah, I looked through the book and I couldn't find it, so I'm not going to sit all day and look for it. So we'll just we'll start here, and I just want to bring it to maybe like that, and then move over here, and here. Here. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right, rotating assembly looking good. Next is valve installment. Engine assembly. First thing I'm going to do is put my intake valve down in here. Okay, that's kind of strange. Oh, I need to bring it to top dead center, duh. Let's just set it in there and let it drop. I was thinking I had it at top dead center already, and I don't. Okay. All right, here we go. There it is. Top dead center. Put my exhaust valve in there as well. I've already lapped these in. I already had this motor put together and it didn't run very good. So I took it apart, of course, and see, that one is good. It's not moving at all. This one, I'm going to get these. But it's actually left. I already did. Yeah, we're on these. There. I'll just get about 5 or 9s. I think it's 9 is max. And just look for 9. Here's 9. 9 thousandths. Does not fit. Make it a little bit, just a little bit easier to turn this engine. There's the exhaust stroke. Okay, there's intake, compression, power, exhaust, intake, compression, power, exhaust, intake, compression. Okay. Yeah, it's Let's try a different feeler gauge. What about my old? I don't have the original valve, do I? I sure should do. This is the original valve that came in it. I want to just drop that in there and see what it looks like. It's not moving at all. This is that 9. That does not fit. This might this might be good. This valve might be good. I don't know why, or I don't know what happened with the first time I built this. Something's different. That is not spinning at all. This thing is making a good seal. And that doesn't even fit, and that's 4 thousandths. And here is 3 thousandths. That doesn't even fit. It's 2.8 thousandths. That fits. That fits loosely. Give me that 3 thousandths again. Oh, it's because it's got 2. This is 3 thousandths. Yeah, that fits easily. I think I had 2 of them stacked and didn't know it. Okay. Here's 4. 4 fits easily. Here's 5. 5 fits, but is getting a little bit tighter. This valve's good. This valve is going to be fine. Which is weird. Here's 6, but it's got 1 behind it. Here's a 6 thousandths. Six won't go, but it's got another one behind it. 6 thousandths. Yeah. 6 fits, but it's starting to drag a little bit. So it's 6. It's between 6 and 7 probably. This is 7 thousandths right here. And that does fit, but it's tight. So this exhaust valve is fine, and it is not spinning because I did originally lap this in, so it's fine. This one does not spin. Let's check that again, and we'll use a 6. Six does not really fit. Here is a 5. Five doesn't fit. It's not doubled up. And here is 4. 4 does not fit. This is 0.36 thousandths, 36 thousandths. That doesn't even seem to fit. Let's go to 3 thousandths. Nope. Here's 0.28. And that does fit. But just barely. So I need to take a little off of the intake, it seems. It would seem. And I want to get that to 5. And right here is 5 thousandths, and that's where I want this. Just make sure it is only 5 thousandths. I think I got one stuck to this, maybe. No, I don't. There's 6, so this is 5. And that just does not fit, and this should be 5 thousandths. Yeah. It should be 5. Make sure it doesn't spin. We got 5 thousandths. And it just does not fit. So I need to go touch this on the grinder. And just touch it. Take a touch off of it. I want to be careful because you can't put it back on. Yeah. No, that definitely does not fit. So this needs to be, there's no clearance on this, so I'm going to have to grind a little touch off. Okay. Just a touch. Let's go check it out. Okay. So we got a little bit, just a touch off. Remove my safety goggles. Five thousandths. It doesn't fit, but I feel it starting to go in there. Yeah, it's starting to go in there, but it don't fit. So just a very slight touch is all it needs now. So I'll go grind it one more little touch and be right back. Okay, I just got off the grinder again. You can probably hear it in the background. Okay. Not quite. It gets stuck. It's still a little too tight, so maybe one more time at the grinder. Okay, I probably went back to the grinder about 6 more times, just touching and touching. And the last one, I got a little aggressive with it because I figured, I don't know, I wasn't really progressing. And this is a 7 thousandths, and it does not, well, it actually does fit 7 thousandths. Just will barely fit. So I actually went a little too crazy with it, but that'll be okay. This is an 8. Yeah. 8 don't fit. So at least the 8 don't fit. So it's at 7 thousandths. I don't really like that, but whatever. And here's 7 for the exhaust. It does fit. 7 will barely go through. So I got them both at 7. Exhaust is a tight 7. And so is, yeah, they're both at 7, so. The exhaust is actually well within the spec, but the intake is 1 thousandths really too big, but it'll be okay. What I do want to do is this, because I had replaced that. I don't know why that showed way too much. The original valve showed way too much clearance the first time I put this engine together, and now it doesn't. So something has obviously changed. I don't know exactly what happened, to be honest. So I don't know, but I do want to check this one and see. Yeah, this one right now, this one is actually has no clearance. So this one would have to be ground. This one doesn't need to be ground. And I do have, from when I lapped it in the first time, it does have a good line all the way across it. So I think it's going to be just fine. It does not spin. So, all right, now I'll just go ahead and install the valve springs. This thing will be ready to maybe put the head back on it and be pretty much done with it. Okay, just take the valves out. I'm going to put some of this assembly grease on the valves. Whoa! Okay. Yeah, I don't like how that has shifted on me like that. Whatever. There we go. Okay. This is intake. I'm going to do the exhaust first. put this in here with the keyway looking back at you. Oh! That didn't work. Okay. Fully depress. Make sure the keyway is looking back towards you. As you put it in, kind of lock it and then you can pull it out. So, yeah. See if I can kind of get a view of what's going on here maybe. Right. So you got the keyway back towards you. Boy, it doesn't want to get in there. It's like that corner. You know, it's the turn. Maybe I need to kind of put this, you know what I might have to do is slide this as back as far as I can get it, because there's a curve in the casting that's kind of holding me back. So what I want to do is loosen this up and just kind of slide it back in this keeper as much as I can, like that. I mean, you don't want this thing going flying. I'll tighten it down. Keep your hand on it though so it doesn't go flying. And then try it again. Like that. See, that worked. And there you go. It's in. Just like that. So that one, the exhaust where it's got that little curve in the casting, you just kind of got to put it out a little bit so that you can get it down in there. There's no curve in the casting for the intake, so it'll be easier. So I'm going to go ahead, repeat that process, except for the intake, I'm not going to have that. I'm going to put it all the way in. I'm going to put it all the way into this thing here instead of having it out. Yeah, so you see I got it kind of pushed back just a little bit. And it goes right in. And there you go. Installed. It's that easy. Okay, now I'm going to grab my 7 again. If I can find it. There's the 8. Here's the 7. Okay. There's 7 on the intake. And on the exhaust, 7 ain't going. So let me try 6. If I can. There's 6. 6 isn't even going in. Okay, now this exhaust isn't cooperating at all. Like maybe because this is why you have to check after you put these springs in. Is now all of a sudden with the spring installed, I got no clearance. No clearance whatsoever. But I do still have my clearance on the exhaust, or the intake. Right here. Well, that's actually, that's 5. Yeah, five's a bit loose, the intake. 6 is probably, and it's getting a little draggy. And here's 7. Yeah. But I got no clearance on the exhaust now. So I got to deal with that. I'm going to remove that spring and we'll deal with that. All right, so we are all checked out with our gaps. I got both of the valves installed. And all I want to do now is clean the surfaces with some lacquer thinner again, sealing surfaces. Okay, we're good and clean. Flip the head over. I'm going to get the surface on the head as well. Okay, good and clean. Make sure there's no debris in there. Head gasket. And this head gasket actually was torqued once, but it only didn't really run, so I don't know. We're going to give it a shot, and if it leaks, whatever, if it don't work, I'll replace it. But it was fine when I took it apart. It didn't break, come apart, or anything like that. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put these all in, get them down, and those will be torqued to 140 inch-pounds. Okay, I got the torque spec pattern over here. I've got these all just kind of driven down until they get snugged, and that's it. Now I got this set to 140 inch-pounds, And this is the first one. And I'm just going to give it a snug. I'm not going to click it like that. And then the second one is, number one is, well, this one too. We'll just snug. And then 3 right here. Okay. And come over to 4. And actually click 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now we'll do all the way. 1, 2, clicks. Alright. Okay. Click. So hold on. 3 right here. Click. Okay. 4 in the corner. And click. There, leave a little bit. And 4. Right over the corner. Click. Click. Okay. 5. And 6 right here. And this 7. This 8. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is that. Valve cover install. Valve cover's right here. Oops. I just want to give a squeeze of this stuff in here. Just a little bit. And I need to find these screws. I don't know exactly which. I don't remember which screws go in here. I think it's these two. Yeah. I have to really wipe this engine down. Okay. We get proper tool for putting those in. Yeah, like small. Yeah. Forgot to install the oil slinger. Uh-oh. I dropped a screw. Forgot about a screw. Oil slinger. I believe I forgot the oil slinger. Okay. Well, the good news is the gasket's not damaged at all, which is good. We'll redo this. Oops. I'll reinstall this again. I'll go through and torque this back to about 90 foot-pounds or 90 inch-pounds, something like that. Let me do that. I'll be right back. Okay, oil slinger is in, sump is retorqued. It's time to now do the flywheel. Flywheel. Line it up. Insert key. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. It's late. Okay. This does not look like the correct screw. Oops. For this. Yeah, it's not. I need to get my little driver. I believe that's too big. Really striking out on picking the sizes of these. I'm going to pull it back. No Herculean tightening here. Snug it down. Alright, gapped. The brake stuff goes on once it's installed over there, along with this. This needs to go on here, so I do need to remove that. Snuggle it. Just a snug. Okay. And the kill wire comes around, clips onto here, and comes over, and it's going to be hard to, well, not really. It'll be alright. It'll be alright. Here's your brake. Here's my spark plug. So now, okay, well, battery died, so I've been working, haven't done too much. I've just secured the engine to the mower. I've hooked up the brake. As you can see, I wired the kill line to the coil, and I have torqued the blade 60 pounds. So now we are ready to put the gas tank on. The shroud, the blower shroud. And yeah, fill it with some oil, put the gas tank and stuff on, put the muffler on. The muffler's easy enough. There we go. yeah, so I'm going to charge the camera, finish dressing this out. I'll be back. All right, oil time. Got about 17 ounces of oil maybe here. You want to use regular oil, conventional oil, don't use synthetic. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and let all of the oil just kind of collect back down into this. And I will pour the rest of it in here. Alright, so it's moment of truth time. We're full of oil, we got gas in the tank, so we'll give it a couple primes and then give it a pull over and see how it runs. I'm going to call that a success. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut the front yard a little bit, and it's in November, so there's not much grass really to cut, but I'll just go ahead and turn the camera like this and maybe we'll cut the backyard a little bit. So yeah, kind of like that. Thing runs great. Runs awesome. I was just going through mulching up a lot of the leaves in the yard. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with this. Runs perfect. See if it's a one pull situation. That's going to do it for this video. I got about half a tank of gas, maybe, is what I started with. Once that runs out, I'll change the oil. And that'll be, I'll consider that the break-in period. So I'm going to continue throughout the fall, leading into winter, just mulching leaves. And that'll be the break-in period for those new rings on the piston and the rod and all that. So yes, I replaced the rod and the piston rings in this thing. Yeah, there you go. Thanks for watching, everyone, and see you on the next lawnmower engine refurb / repair. Bye for now.